A guy gets reincarnated into the body of Su Ping. In the new world he finds himself in, pets are used as battle beasts in all sorts of situations. Imagine Pokemon but with R-rated levels of violence. After defeating Yihao's Silver Snake Thunder Dragon, still can't believe that's the actual name, Yan and Su are congratulated on winning the annual match. While Yan is simply in shock at their win, Su Ping decides to be a dumbest of a winner. He turns to Yihao and asks when he can expect the 500,000 they'd wagered. Hao tells him he'll get it soon enough and then asks a question. Can his Silver Snake Thunder Dragon beast be trained to be as strong as the Lightning Rat? Well, sure, just make sure to wait your turn. Saying that, Su walks away, smug son of a gun. After seeing Su's performance in the match, several recruiters have taken an interest in him and wish to gain his loyalty. To this end, Yan and Su are made to wait in the vice principal's office while the recruiters come to speak to them. Su Ping does what he wants though. If he's gotta wait, he's gonna do it as comfortably as possible. He proceeds to hijack a VIP seat and drink the tea in the office. As Yan loses her metaphorical shite over Su's disrespectful attitude, 3 core captains enter the office and meet Su. Along with them come Lu and the vice principal. The principal starts sucking up to him, thinking Su's a student at the academy. Lu, however, explains who he really is, and that he's the one who saved her in the recent frontier expansion. After hearing this, all the core captains are quick to make ridiculous offers in hopes of recruiting him. Like people work their whole lives for these opportunities, levels of ridiculous. So naturally, Su turns them all down. Wait, what? All he's interested in is his shop and his cultivation. Talk about being a simple man. With this in mind, Lu makes her own offer. Su can be an instructor at their academy with just 1 class to teach per week. As an added benefit, he'll have unrestricted access to all the academy's resources. Resources, the exact thing he needs to cultivate the Golden Crow Divine Demon Body. Count him in, and it'll get his shop a better reputation, so that's cool too. For his appointment as an instructor at the academy, Su must first face a great enemy, possibly the most hated being by young people in any educational institution. Tests? Yeah, apparently there's a lot of them if he wants to get the job. Luckily, the suck-up of a vice principal is there to save him from Lu. He says that Su's achievements speak for themselves and he'll be able to teach just fine with some experience. All he needs to do is pass their physical fitness test. Great deal, right? Well, yeah, but Su sees through the older man. This is an attempt to dock his benefits if his level isn't high enough in the test. The 3 head over to the academy's advanced test field and Su is shown his test. He has to fight White Marsh, a huge robotic deer, goat, whatever it is. It looks creepy as hell thanks to the robotic face under its neck. Anyways, Su's test is to last in a fight for a minimum of 1 minute against the robot without the use of a pet. Once the test starts, Su is forced to dodge around a ton of energy attacks from White Marsh. When he can't dodge, he uses Star Shield to block. Unfortunately, his shield isn't strong enough and soon shatters under the attacks. Following this, Su proceeds to get his world rocked by the robot. As the vice principal notes that 20 seconds have passed, Su is caught in White Marsh's bindings. As Lu watches, the robot engulfs him in a wave of fire, so intense they can't even see him. She tells the VP to stop the test, but the old git just says Su hasn't called out for help yet. He's probably fine. Ain't like he's getting barbecued. No sir. However, even he gets worried when a full 10 seconds have passed, and White Marsh hasn't stopped its flames. They're supposed to get stronger with each passing second. Surely Su can't still be conscious in there. Looks like someone doesn't know who the main character is here. A golden glow surrounds Su's body, and he escapes White Marsh's bindings. With a single supercharged punch, he smashes the robot into scrap and clears the test. Then, the system pop-up appears to tell him his level 1 Golden Crow Divine Beast battle body is still unstable. Yeah, kinda like this ridiculous names. As such, he's only able to use a small portion of its power in specific situations. So that was a small portion of its power. Yep, definitely OP as hell. While Su marvels at his power, the wrecked robot announces his combat level assessment. He's an upper level 7. After seeing Su's overwhelming victory, the vice principal instantly offers him a senior instructor position, and tells him he'll send him an electronic instructor certificate. As Su leaves, Lu and the VP discuss the details of the ranking White Marsh gave him. While his attack and defense are of the 8th order, he only has 3-star power. The VP believes this must be because he's learned a secret martial art, but hasn't been practicing it for too long. He tells Lu she has to find the person who's teaching him since he must have a master. Also, she should find his shop. However, Su hasn't left yet. Wait, what? Oh. Su pokes his head around the door and tells them they don't need to act so suspicious. He'll just send his shop's location to them. Back at home, Sue's mom frets over his roughed up state from the test. Also, because his clothes are gone. Being roasted like a turkey will do that. Sue goes to his room for a change of clothes when his sister barges in. Oh boy, I've seen enough anime to know where this is going. After embarrassing his sister into getting out and getting his nuts crushed, Sue learns that his physical strength is currently only upper 3rd level. Later, at the table, Sue talks about his bloodline awakening and baby skeleton pet to his mom and sister. Sue learns even more to confirm that the host of this body before him was totally worthless. Apparently, he borrowed money from loan sharks in the past. The next day, Sue greets a customer at his pet shop. This woman is interested in breeding thunderlight mice, or as Sue calls them, lightning rats. When Sue tells her he can't breed multiple thunderlight mice of the same level as Yan's, she gets annoyed. The woman believes Sue is a scammer and turns to leave the store. Just then, Sue gets a system pop-up. Since the woman's doubts about the store have hurt its status, Sue has been granted permission to conduct professional training. The professional training shows a reward of a medium-grade original force pill, as well as a random book of divine and demon battle techniques. That sounds great to Sue Ping, at least until he realizes the catch. The fee for this training is 100 times that of normal training. So yeah, that's not great. However, he has every intention of making use of this opportunity. Turning to the woman who started walking out of the store, he tells her he can do what she wants. He just wasn't sure if she could afford it is all. Real smooth. After all, the Thunderlight mouse cultivation she's asking about costs 1 million. While someone's greedy. The woman doubts the legitimacy of Sue's store at hearing this. Luckily, he's got just the thing to convince her. His status as an instructor at Fengshan Academy, the place where she's actually a student. While that's certainly convenient, as the woman apologizes constantly for offending him, Sue just tells her to get the money ready so he can train her pet. To his surprise, she actually has the money. Super rich kid apparently. Life just ain't fair, is it? Anywho, Sue takes the pet she wants him to train, a scorpig, and tells her to collect it in a month. The woman at this point has been convinced Sue is a highly generous and gracious teacher. Yeah, sure, let's go with that. After she leaves, Sue worries over what to do with his points. The 1 million she transferred to him has been converted to 10,000 energy units. With these, he can either upgrade the spirit pool or spirit shop, or he can train her Scorpig. Tough decision. Luckily, he's the main character. The system tells him that an upgraded spirit shop will give him the clone ability. With this, he'll be able to send clones into cultivation sites, for the cost of half of whatever he gets from the site. Like any decent protagonist who's just discovered an OP ability, Sue decides to abuse the shite out of it. In just 20 days, he's going to train so many pets with this ability that he'll be richer than ever. After accepting an absolute boatload of customers, Sue Ping heads into a flaming hellscape of a training area with a bunch of fire-type pets. Due to their affinity, this place will give them the most benefits. Along with a clone he makes by using 200 energy, Sue leads the animals to a pool of lava, and then he proceeds to take a dip in it. What the FOOK? So the golden crow body thing came out last time he was being burned as well. Apparently, he's just not affected by extreme heat. Nice. While soaking in the lava, Sue has the pets with him jump in, and they die, and he makes them do it again, and they die again. You get the idea. He makes them die over and over again and revives them every time to keep going. Sounds an awful lot more like torture than training. Oh well, with his store getting more customers than ever now, due to its reputation, Sue's managed to recover his full energy investment in the store. In just a few days too, rather than 20. With his pet slots filled up, Sue decides to upgrade his Chaos Spirit breeding pool. After the 10,000 points for this have been deducted, he's left with 1,650. Now, his breeding pool has a 1 in a million chance to breed a pet of the King Beast lineage. Great odds, for sure. Also, it costs 1,000 energy per breeding. So this is basically a gacha game with extra bad rates. And like any gacha addict, Sue decides to go for it. If not a King Beast, he has to at least get a 6th grade pet. Unlike the average gacha addict though, Sue has crazy good luck. With his first breeding, he receives a 9th rank Purgatory Dragon. Once the contract has been signed, he rushes to his first day of teaching at Fengshan. He's almost late. Over at the academy, he arrives just in time atop his newly bred dragon pet. Here, the director of the university's operation department seems to have something against Sue. He and Lou escort Sue to the class he'll be teaching, the class where his little sister is a student. Yeah, that'll go over well. Once they enter the class and introduce Sue as the new teacher, she immediately loses her shite before collecting herself. Called it. Meanwhile, the rest of the students insist on seeing proof of Su's rumored power. The director is more than ready to go along with this, since he has his own doubts about Su. He tells him to go ahead and demonstrate his pet's power without any worries. Su summons his baby skeleton, the first pet he trained of his own. The students, of course, start laughing at what seems to be a super weak pet. At Su's command though, the baby skeleton activates advanced swordsmanship and slices a gap right through the middle of the classroom. Bet that'll shut them up. With his skeleton's show of power, the whole class shuts up out of fear and submits to Su. They don't learn much in the class though, since they're all focused on the huge crack in the ground. Yeah, that'll do that. After class, the vice principal himself drives Su to his store. Here, they run into Chen Shan and the three sit down for tea. While talking, the VP makes a request of Su. He wants him to participate in the Global Elite League starting soon, a tournament held once every 3 years. The fame and benefits from the tournament are immense, and he could even be trained by a legendary pet fighting master. Yeah, not interested. Su couldn't care less about getting that much fame. It'd just make him a target to a bunch of people after all. Chen Shan has another card up his sleeve though, the temptation to join him in traveling to hidden grounds if he participates. These are 3 secret realms with incredible artifacts and beasts within. Most things recovered from inside are said to be priceless. Su, always the opportunist, decides to go for it. Screw being a target, resources are where it's at. He'll join them. After the meeting with Chen Shan, Su tries to find the secret realms with the system's help. Unfortunately, even it cannot help him with this. Instead, he chooses another realm, the Dragon King Inheritance Land, for his latest training. Su initiates a contract with a First Order Oigetsu dog pet in his care. Its master died unexpectedly, so the dog is his now. With the dog, his baby skeleton, dragon and the Scorpic, he enters the Dragon King Inheritance Land. The training has a duration of 7 days. Around them, they see the skeleton of an enormous dragon and a tower with 9 sections. Suddenly, a voice speaks from the skeleton. The Yuan inheritance test has been initiated. The dragon once shed 109 scalars that spread to different parts of the continent. Due to pollution, they've caused monsters to be created. Su's task is to purify all 109 of these scales so the dragon can reclaim the king's soul. To do this, he must advance up the sections of the tower and reach the top. There he will get the final inheritance exam. Sounds easy enough, doesn't it? Once he steps inside the tower, Su instantly feels an incredible pressure pushing down on him. To make matters worse, his dog is gone and he's hearing a strange voice. Could it be a ghost? Lol, no way, those aren't real. Mom, come pick me up, I'm scared. Okay, yeah, they're not real. Thank God. It was just a trick of the darkness. The only thing on the floor is a bunch of statues. They try to kill him. Baby skeleton defends him and he dies anyways. Good times. After reviving, Su realizes the true purpose of the first floor's test. Balls. That is to say, respect, confidence, and guts. Yeah, that. By showing his resolve, he's allowed to carry on. Near the end of the floor, a dragon comes flying at him, but Su sees right through it. It's all just an illusion. And so, without much more trouble, Su manages to clear the whole tower. Not really interesting enough to show the whole thing, so just know he's a badass. The next day, he arrives to his store to see a crowd of people waiting for him to open it. From a distance, Su's sister watches on, confused as to why these people are showing so much respect. Then, surprisingly, Yihao arrives on the scene. As the crowd parts to let him through, he walks up to Su Ping, who doesn't recognize him at first. Lol. Insulted and deciding to jog his memory, Yihao summons forth his Silver Snake Thunder Dragon Beast. Stupid ass name. As he tries to intimidate Su, everyone else in the area is awed by the power they can feel pouring off of the Silver Snake Thunder Dragon Beast. His true goal here, however, is to have his beast trained by Su. Su knows this, but he currently can't handle a high-star pet like Yihao's. He first needs to complete a professional training and upgrade his store to level 3. And upgrading it requires expanding the store to an area of 3,000 square feet. Well, that's a bummer. He can't admit this either, since that'll just hurt his store's reputation. Yeah, not the best spot to find yourself in. As the crowd begins gossiping about the power of a Silver Snake Thunder Dragon Beast, doubts start rising about Su's ability to handle it. Thinking fast, Su comes up with a way to wash away these doubts. He summons forth Purgatory Dragon, and brings everyone present down to their knees. This even includes Yihao's pet itself. To prove his pet is better, Su points out the difference in their powers. Silver Snake Thunder Dragon has had to work hard to become the incredible beast it is today. His Purgatory Dragon, on the other hand, is still just a baby. It was born with this power. Talk about humiliating your ops, man. Sheesh, Su just tells you how that his pet's turn will come, so he should just wait for now. Oh, the power of bullshitting your way out of a tight spot. Meanwhile, Su's sister is shocked by how powerful her brother seems to have gotten. That night, Su Ping finds himself with a huge problem: getting the money to expand his store to 3,000 square feet. Realistically, it'll probably cost no less than 10 million. How the hell is he supposed to make that much money? As he tries to think of a solution, Su finds himself blanking out. The only way he can think of that might work is through his status of a senior instructor. In the Shengcheng district of Longjiang City, Zhu Kuang, the third-year pet expert of War God Academy, receives a message. Su Ping arrives in Shengcheng at Zhu Kuang's residence. Though the guards are rude to him at first, they instantly let him in when he mentions that he's Zhu Kuang's guest. Inside, he's led to a huge battleground where Zhu Kuang is battling a training robot. As the robot flies at him, Zhu Kuang gathers up his star power and punches a hole straight through the machine. Aren't those things like expensive? Who am I kidding? This guy's clearly too loaded to care. Once he's done, the man finally turns to meet Su Ping, and instantly he's disappointed. He asked for the best instructor in all of Fengshan Academy. This guy's just a kid. Oh boy, he's in for a shock. Su Ping assures him that he's indeed the best instructor available, and he can teach Su a thing or two. Su, however, is offended by this. Based on what he's sensing, Su doesn't have anywhere near the level of star power he himself does. To prove his own power, Su baits Zhu into having a mock battle with him. He goads Zhu into attacking him with the strongest punch he's got. When Zhu tries to load up star power into his fist though, he finds that it's too hard to grasp properly. The star power in the area has been disrupted. Zhu quickly realizes the disruption was caused by Su Ping. With this, he begins to realize that things aren't quite what they seem. You think? Curious as to who exactly Su is, he asks the boy's title. Su simply tells him he's not qualified enough to ask such a thing. Accepting this since he has a strong instructor now either way, Zhu decides to continue the mock battle. He summons forth two pets, a swamp chaser and a soul eater. Those don't sound ominous at all. As they try to trick and attack him, Su shows the fruits of his training. Through his time in the Dragon Realm, he can now access a full 70% of the Golden Crow body's power. Using this, he takes hold of the giant Swamp Chaser and throws it away with his bare hands. While Swamp Chaser recovers, Soul Eater waits for Su to make the first move. Damn camper. After absolutely demolishing Zhu Kuang's pets, Su proceeds to give him a breakdown of the reasons they lost. Between their lack of teamwork and overdependence on their high power, they won't last long against any opponent who has more experience than Zhu Kuang. Harsh. Fair though. To help him fix these problems, Su presents an item, the legendary Hades Bone Lotus. This item is the best way to improve Zu's undead pet perception. For 1.2 million, Su will sell him this item as well as pet food. While this sounds expensive, Zhu notes it's actually a much better price than he'd get in the market for the same stuff. Plus, Su's going to sell him pet food as well. Since his pets are of the rare and disliked undead class, it's normally really hard to find stuff for them. Zhu couldn't be more grateful if he tried. Sure changed his tune quick. After finishing with Zhu, Su returns home to find a feast cooked by his mother. It's the first time in forever that his sisters actually left some of the food for him. I guess she hates him a little less now. Afterwards in his room, Su worries about how to raise his power as fast as possible. Since a strength pill would help, he opens the system store. Due to their rarity, strength pills aren't in the store very often though. Using 100 energy, he refreshes the store. Suddenly, an item called the mid-grade capturing ring appears. With the cost of 10,000 energy, this ring has a 25% chance of instantly capturing a 9th order beast. Deciding it's worth it, Su buys it at once. Then, he refreshes the store again. This time, a spiritual control beginner's skill book appears. Sounds useful enough. How much does it cost? 50,000 energy. It's so expensive. But then it must be super useful too, right? But what if it's not even that good? Su only has enough energy to buy this book if he does decide to. Should he get it? He gets it. No hesitation. And as it turns out, it's pretty useful. It allows him to use his stellar power to manipulate objects around him. It's almost like a form of telekinesis. Pretty damn cool. With the way it works, he might even be able to create solid objects by condensing his stellar power tightly enough. Unfortunately, that's off the table for now. Despite what an overpowered ability it is, he can only produce about 100 kilograms of strength at the moment. Not exactly the most battle-ready of moves. At this point, he's regretting getting that damn book, instead of continuing his attempts to find a strengthening pill in the store. Hey man, you made the choice, gotta leave with it now. The next day, Su Ping can be seen speeding towards Fengshan Academy on his bicycle. As he often is, he's almost late for something important. When he reaches the academy though, he finds something that requires his attention. A couple of first years being bullied by students from Jianlin Academy. Just as they're about to lay the hurt on the kids, Su steps in and grabs one of the bullies by the wrist. Staring down at the bullies, he simply orders to release the kids. As the bullies start getting disrespectful, Su crushes the wrist of the boy he's grabbed. Once more, he orders to release them. "Oh, y'all done messed up now." The Fengshan students are shocked and relieved by Su's appearance. They're about to mention who he is, but Su tells them to keep quiet. These bullies can think whatever they want of him. It'll just make it more satisfying to deal with them. Oh, he's planning to go in. Kick their asses, big man. The bullies try to make fun of Su for coming in on a bicycle, and comment that he should really work out his legs more. That's literally what a bicycle does, you morons. Exerting some of his stellar power, Su Ping drives the lead bully, Dai, into the ground. While the rest of them think he just tripped, Dai and a couple of others can tell it was Su Ping's work. As Su continues to talk shite to the bullies, Dai loses his temper and decides to get serious. Stepping forward, he summons his pet, a golden-haired saw-claw bear. God, I hate these names. Unlike what they expected though, Su remains unfazed. Since he's almost late for his class, he tells the guys to just come at him all at once. Over in the vice principal's office, Lu and the VP are seen speaking to the principal and VP of Jianling Academy. The two schools have quite the rivalry between them, and this is just as strong between its leaders as its students. As they're discussing their upcoming tournament, the Jianling students enter the office, with their asses beat to a pulp. When their principal demands to know who did this, Dai steps forth with a bold claim. He says that a Fengshan student ambushed them for no reason, when all they wanted to do was make friends. Out of fear of Dai, the other students back him up and agree with his lie. With the Jianling principal and VP pissed off, Lu and Fengshan's VP are quick to try and find the identity of their attacker. Dai's next words, however, give the VP considerable pause. The attacker's name was Su. While training at his shop, Su receives a video call from Fengshan's VP. After talking about the incident with the Jianling students, he tells Su that he understands that he must have had his reasons for what he did. But the students he injured were participants in the upcoming tournament between Jianling and Fengshan. For now, he shouldn't come anywhere near the academy. Even the VP won't be able to protect him from Jianling if he does. The Fengshan students he saved are in no condition to back up his side of the story in any way. Well, at least he's kinda nice about it. Su believes there's more to the situation though. After ending the call, he shoots a message to Zhu Quang. Before long, the day of the tournament arrives. While Fengshan has a full 5 pet masters from the 3rd grade as participants, including Yi Hao and Yan Yong, Jianling has only one. This causes a great uproar in the audience about why the other Jianling participants aren't present. Because they're dumbasses, that's why. The crowd roars out their disapproval at Fengshan's supposedly dirty tactics in ambushing their other participants. Yi Hao decides it's true that this would be unfair and asks their opponent, Lu, to postpone the tournament, at least till his teammates are recovered. However, Lu simply says that this is no longer a game. The 5 of them can come right at him, it won't make any difference. Damn alright bro, talk your shite. After saying his piece, Lu summons forth a 9th order beast, the underworld's black dragon. Well crap. The Fengshan participants all bring out their best star pets, but in a single move, Lu's dragon wipes them all out. As Lu proceeds to beat the crap out of the students themselves, Fenchang's VP, Fengshan, demands the match be ended. Unfortunately, the referee is from Jianling, so yeah, no luck there. Wait, that has to be illegal or something, doesn't it? Right as Lu is about to finish off Yi Hao, Su Ping finally arrives in the principal's viewing area. Facing off against the Jianling VP, he asks what the man wants. Fengshan turns to Su in a panic, asking him why he's come here. He told him he won't be able to protect him here. When the Jianling principal, Fei, tries to capture him though, Fengshan instantly stands by Su and stops him. Aw, he does care. As Fei demands Su be handed over for his actions, Su Ping starts boasting about beating the Jianling students. Even as Fengshan pleads with him to back off, Su Ping provokes Fei repeatedly. Meanwhile, the Jianling vice principal has been sensing Su's power. He notes that even in an ambush, he couldn't have taken out Dai and the others if he wasn't actually strong. Moreover, if he's an instructor like Fengshan has told him rather than a student, his skills must be better than Dai's, right? Su simply tells him it's none of his business and he's only here to resolve the current issue. Fei only looks down on him further, but Su stops him. He tells him to make a bet. He will make both him and his principal bow down and ask for forgiveness. Oh snap. Enraged, Fei demands a battle immediately. Fengshan tries to talk Su Ping out of it, but he brushes him off and accepts Fei's challenge. With their battle agreed to, the announcer makes the announcement of what's happening. The match has been changed to one between instructors rather than students. As Fei makes his entrance into the arena, the Giantling students start boasting about how he'll completely crush any opponent from Fengshen. Yeah, keep talking, it won't last long. Before everyone's eyes, Su Ping enters the arena. While floating, the Fengshen instructor is literally walking on the air. Does this mean he's not even a 9th grade, but a Jingxuan grade master? With this reveal, everyone in the arena is left in a state of shock and awe. As they face each other, Fei convinces himself that Su can only fly due to putting all his focus on cultivation. He's probably just a weakness exploiter. The copium is strong with this one. Fei summons his battle pet, the purple shadow fox demon. A being of the 8th order, this fox is the wildest beast of the Thunder Realm. The Giantling students are all caught up in their own excitement at what they believe to be a sure win now. Boy, are they in for a massive disappointment. Down in the arena, Su simply smiles at his opponent's pet and summons his own, the 8th order Purgatory Dragon, which has grown to an adult. Holy crap, that looks so cool. Seeing the battle for the pot of destruction it's going to become, Fengshen orders the protective barriers around the arena to be raised to max level. Good move, old man. With their fight finally begins, Fei once again claims that Su's is a lesser 8th order beast than his own. Okay grandpa, let's get you to bed. After buffing his fox up to 9th order, Fei has it shoot an octuple thunder rend at Su. This will take him out in a single move. Not, Purgatory Dragon just yells it out of existence. Refusing to back down, Fei has his fox create multiple clones. Each of these shoot forward and attack with several rat bites. Surely these will take him out. Yeah, no, he just tanks it all head on. Based as hell. Even further, his dragon has caught the real fox in its jaws. In a last-ditch effort, Fei has his fox shoot thunder cannon at Purgatory Dragon from point-blank range. Surely this will take him out. Nope, still doesn't. The cannon barely scratched Su's dragon. On the other hand, the demonic fox itself has been greatly damaged by its own attack. With a brutal finisher, Su's Purgatory Dragon finishes off Fei's fox. Thanks to the defensive skills it had to learn back in the Dragon Realm, it's practically unbeatable. Though he's infuriated, Fei announces he's far from beaten. His main pet hasn't even come out yet. For their second match, he summons the demonic serpent of the abyss, a 9th grade beast. While everyone in the crowd boasts about how it's definitely over for Su now, he says that Purgatory Dragon was hardly his main pet either. With a smile on his face, he summons forth his most fearsome beast, Baby Skeleton. Tiny skeleton, not really a baby anymore. Everyone in the area can only laugh and make fun of Su's pet. Even Fei talks down to him, however, he can feel something strange. For the first time in his life, he's sensing fear from the demonic serpent. Before anyone can make a single move, Su's tiny skeleton has moved across the arena with his sword drawn. Behind him, the demonic serpent lays slashed apart and defeated. Despite his victory, Dai and the other Giantling students try to have Su captured for an apology. This is when he reveals his plan. He connects his watch to the stadium's big screen and calls Zhu Quang. With his help, Su has gotten the Fengshen students that were attacked by Dai advanced medical treatment. Now, they can testify the truth about what happened the day Dai and his minions were hurt by Su Ping. Busted. Dai tries to escape the arena, but his VP is the first to catch him. He will be expelled, his bloodline taken and his connection to stellar pets removed forever. He's finished. Turning to Fengshen, he asks forgiveness for his students' actions and asks for their academies to be allies moving forwards. Right then, Su Ping arrives in their viewing area and tells him he's forgetting something. He still has to kneel and ask forgiveness. Holy shite, that's such a gigachad move. After forcing the Giantling VP into submission, Su lays out the terms of their new arrangement. Their schools will not be allies, rather, Giantling will be their underling. All resources between the two will be given to Fengshen with first priority going forward. With his actions against Giantling Academy, Su Ping's store gains more fame than ever before. People come from all over the place for his services. One of these people happens to be Su's little sister. She asks him to nurture her 4th order pet, Snowball. Well, at least it's a simple name for once. While this would normally cost 100,000, Su tells her that he'll handle what she can pay. The system tries to forbid him from giving a discount, but Su manages to sweet-talk it into letting him pay the difference. Su mentions that he learned a training technique some time ago, but his sister is confused. He never left home, so how did he manage that? A flashback shows the events of the Dragon Realm Tower's top floor. With the help of all the pets he had back then, Su Ping took down a 9th order Gilded Scales bearded dragon. With the victory back then, the 1st order Oigetsu dog he was training evolved into a 7th order Black Dragon Hound. Son of a gun has way too many hacks. Back in the Dragon Realm, Su trains all the pets with him to extremely powerful levels. Back in the real world, he returns Snowball to his sister and the Scorpig to the woman who came to him several days ago. While they're both shocked at how quickly their pets have been upgraded, the other customers force them out so they can have their turn with Su Ping. Someone sure is popular, isn't he? Later, Su Ping receives the rewards for completing the Dragon Realm professional training. One of these is a random technique from the Gods and Demons War. When Su Ping accepts this, he's transported to a whole new realm full of terrifying demonic beings. Here, a massive being made of golden light appears and destroys the demons with one punch. He reveals the skill available to Su as the demonic suppressor punch. It has 5 movements that must be mastered, after which he can destroy enemies even of the 9th order with ease. However, there's a major recoil to the attack, so this should only be a trump card. Su Ping ain't no fool. Without a second thought, he accepts the training to learn this technique. Su has to get stronger. Once he enters the secret realm soon, he'll have to be powerful enough to not depend solely on Tiny Skeleton. With this in mind, he spends the next few days training. 2 days later in the real world, or a month and a half for Su, he's completed the Tower of King Dragon's inheritance. Also, he holy guacamole on a pickle stick, he got jacked. Daddy, sorry dad, Anyways, though he hasn't mastered the demonic suppressor punch just yet, his golden crow body has greatly improved. You don't say. Hoping it'll be enough, Su returns to the real world. In the base of the North Star team, preparations are being made to enter the secret kingdom. The leader, Nai Chenkong, has a particular treasure he wishes to find. For this, he has recruited 2 extra members, Chen Long and Mo Lao. Both are 8th order pet masters. With them, Nai, Lu, Chen Shan, and none other than Su Ping. They have a 6-man party ready for their mission. Though the 2 newcomers are skeptical of Su, they quickly accept him having first pick of the mission rewards when Nai introduces him as the one who saved Chensen. At the entrance to the secret kingdom of the Dragon Mountain, Su's group are stuck climbing the mountain stairs. This is due to all fighting and summoning being banned on the mountain. Except if you're from a big family apparently. The masters of the Chen and Tang family are fighting all over the place to enter the realm first. Their actions cause a rock avalanche that Su has to destroy with the help of his comrades. Freaking spoiled rich kids. At the top of the mountain where the entrance to the secret kingdom lays, the Tang family has created a line. Under the leadership of Tang Ryuan, they've announced that none outside their family may cross into the Dragon Realm. While Chen Xiaoshan, leader of Qi family, fights Ryuan, the Tang family enforces the line. Floating up in the air is wait, is that Gildarts? No, it's Shanks. No, it's Dao Zun. Yeah, that's just a lawsuit waiting to happen. The 9th Order Master, Dao Zun, demands to know why no one has entered the realm. The people below try to cross the line in an attempt to follow Dao Zun. Unfortunately, they're stopped by the Tang family's enforcers. Well, most of them. Su Ping shows up and crosses it. He ain't nobody's dog. Enraged at Su's arrogance, the Tang family attacks. Luckily, Dao Zun stops the attack and allows Su Ping to enter the Dragon Realm with ease. Angered even further, the Tang family follow after him. Inside the Dragon Realm, Su decides to go see how different the tower here is from the one in the Dragon Realm created by the system. Back on the ground, Ryuan is met by her family members who apologize for letting Su through. Their family was supposed to be the first to clear the tower. After all, they're the only ones who have reached the 6th floor so far. Ryuan assures them it doesn't matter. Even if he did enter first, it's not like he'll make it further than them. Right? Wrong. Su completes the whole thing in minutes. He's just built different. Since the tower is identical to the one made by the system, Su Ping speeds through the whole thing with his newly acquired demonic suppressor punch. After finishing the tower, he returns to his team and tells them he just went off to warm up somewhere. While the 2 outsiders with them believe he's being reckless, the others realize he's the one who cleared the tower just now. Together, they head to the 92 Kingdom in the Long Land continent. The treasure they want is here. While Mo Lao and Lu use their own pets to scout out for enemies, Su summons his own dark dragon dog. Using its superior sense of smell, Su knows there's a wave of enemies coming. Mo Lao believes he's just lying for attention though, since his pet doesn't sense anything. Yeah, alright buddy, get ready then. Moments later, the team are set upon by a massive swarm of flying pythons. Each of them is sure to be a 9th Order beast. They have to prepare to fight. As the swarm closes in, the team all summon their own pets. While most of them hold a line to fight against the pythons, the masters take shelter inside the quadruped guardian Kesidigarbha. Inside the guardian, Luo and Chen worry about Dark Dragon God. As a 7th Order beast, they're worried it won't survive the swarm. Mo Lao and Chen Long don't believe it's worth risking their shelter to save it, but the others insist. Before the disagreement can go further, Su steps in and tells them his pet will be just fine. Besides, once the leader Green Python is killed, the rest will flee anyways. Sounds good. The outsiders think he's just being a smug and stubborn kid though. Of course they do. What is it with these skeptic-ass side characters? Using a special skill, Chen Long makes the walls of their shelter invisible so they can watch the battle outside. To their shock, Dark Dragon Dog is actually doing pretty well. With its incredibly high stacked defense, it's taking no damage and absolutely demolishing the pythons in its path. When the Green Python leader appears, the dog even tanks that thing's attacks like they're nothing. With a quick rush, it swipes at the leader with its claw. Mo Lao and Chen Long see how little damage it did and assume it's a purely defense pet. That must be why it's survived. Huffing more copium than an addict in a crack house. The dog's claws are poison geniuses. Once the leader collapses, the swarm disperses as well. The dog returns to Su with a whole sack of eggs from the python leader, an extremely rare and powerful resource. To their shock, Su tells them they can keep it. He'll just take the python's scales. Shocked and humbled, Mo Lao and Chen Long bow their heads to Su. If he ever needs anything in the future, they'll be there for him. As the group continue on to the site of the treasure they need, Su starts to be a little suspicious about the whole situation. Once they reach the cave, he tells the team about a 9th Order beast waiting inside. While the others set a trap for it, he and the captain will head inside to flush it out. Inside the cave, Su confronts him about the reasons for his strange actions recently. Not wanting to lie, he tells Su that the only thing he wants from here is the fabled fruit of the spiritual tree, something that's supposedly in this cave. Though he can't tell Su why, the reason he needs this is to cure the illness of someone he loves. Seeing that Nai's intentions aren't negative, Su decides to help him. Because main character shite. He reveals that the beast inside is a 9th Order sub-dragon that specializes in mental attacks. He won't tell Nai, but he knows all this is due to the dragon realm of the system that he spent so long inside. To fight this beast more effectively, Su leads Nai to a secret chamber which holds the Lamp of the Soul, a special item that will protect them against mental attacks. After securing this item, they're preparing to go further in and face the beast when the cave starts quaking around them. As far as Su can tell, the source of this is outside the cave. Outside, their team can be seen struggling against an enormous pink dragon with a huge crystal in its forehead. That can't be good. At the entrance to the cave, Su and Nai see a terrible sight. The dragon beast has used its mental attacks to trap their team and their pets in an illusion. While they think they've beaten the dragon, their pets are killing each other. That's dark, bro. Before the pets can kill them as well, Nai and Su make it to their position and save them. They pour their stellar power into the soul lamp to expand its field of protection. With this, their team is freed from the illusion and can see clearly again. Together, they pour enough stellar power into the lamp to greatly expand the protective field. Then, right as things seem to be under control, they're attacked by a third party. Dozens of spikes come flying towards them. Chen Long jumps in front of Su with a star shield to protect him, while the others struggle to defend the soul lamp. They'd better. At Su's enraged demand, the attackers reveal themselves. The Fang team and their vice captain are responsible for this. Nai asks why they would try to murder them when they aren't even enemies. Pretty sure y'all definitely are now. The vice captain simply laughs at them. Turns out he's the one who gave the treasure map that lead them here to Nai in the first place. Their plan from the very beginning was to use his team as a distraction for the dragon, while they steal the treasures inside the cave. Having heard all he needs, Su Ping makes his move. After summoning Little Skeleton, he finally brings out the item he got from the system shop, the mid-range hunting ring. Without a second thought, he throws it right at the blood dragon, causing it to be trapped in a web of golden chains. As the chains from the rings pull the blood dragon in, it disappears without so much as a whimper. Up on the cliff where they were watching from, the Fang team are shocked by what they've just seen. As though the dragon's disappearance wasn't enough, Su Ping is floating in the sky right behind them. The Fang team members are quick to realize just how outmatched they are. They already know they don't stand a chance. But of course, their vice captain has to be a cocky dumbass. It's like all these bad guys have to pass the same course or something. He insists that Su only has a Little Skeleton summon. They can totally beat him. Not. Little Skeleton slices them all up like a bunch of vegetables in just seconds. Returning back to his own team, Su finds that Mo Lao and Chen Long have both succumbed to their injuries. Both men have passed away and their captain isn't far behind. With the final breaths left in his dying body, Nai begs Su to complete his mission, to obtain the spirit tree's fruit and take it to his daughter. If she eats it, she might be able to fight off the terminal illness she's suffering from. Seeing a good man in such a state, Su Ping turns around and stomps towards the cave. He'll grant Nai this wish, no matter what. Deep inside the cave, the Fang team's captain is plundering all the treasures available. Among these is the spiritual tree. He orders his men to destroy the tree after plucking every fruit on it, so no one else can get any. Before this can happen, the team members start dropping like flies. One after another, their bodies are all stabbed through by a golden light. At the end, only the captain himself remains. Realizing he has no option but to fight, he starts summoning his dual 9th order battle pets. Before they can even be fully summoned though, Little Skeleton slices them dead in a flash. Defeated and on his knees, the captain begs Su to spare his life. When he realizes that won't happen, he asks to at least know the name of his killer. Before he can so much as finish his sentence, Su pierces his head with his condensed stellar power. No enemy of his will ever get a second chance. That's cold, man, ice cold. After gathering the Fang team's bodies in a pile, Su has his purgatory dragon burn them to little more than ashes. He returns to the nearest pioneer base along with Luo, Chengshan, and all the treasure from the cave. Here, he tells them this is where they part ways. He can't keep doing this, and without their captain, they'll have to disband their team as well. Before he leaves, Su tells them to get the spirit tree's fruit to Captain Nai's daughter. This surprises them since they didn't know he had a daughter, not to mention the fact that Su doesn't want the fruit for himself. He simply says to grant their captain's final wish and divide the treasures they got to the families of the deceased. Before this though, their treasures must be taken to the inspection office and registered. There, some government officials try to force them to hand over the spirit tree. When Su declines, they blow him through a wall and declare that he's broken the law. As he faces off against them, a voice from above calls out to Su. From up in the rafters, Dao Zun has been watching. He tells Su to make his own path with his own strength. Taking this advice to heart, Su uses star power condensation and smashes both his enemies into the ground. After beating the officers, Su takes the spirit tree himself so he can protect it for the time being. Afterwards, he receives 60 million star coins as compensation for the trouble from a more senior officer. Glad some people have some sense about them. Also, Cha-Ching baby. Su tells Lu and Chen Shang to reach the peak of 8th order and then come to him for a free star fruit each. That should help them ascend to 9th order with ease. Later, Su finds himself in the continent of dragon scales. Here, he instructs his dark dragon dog to keep watch while he goes underwater in search of a secret treasure. Deep underwater, he finds a dojo of sorts. Inside, the skeleton of a monk sights with a glowing box in its lap. That's not creepy at all. Su Ping retrieves the box and brings out the treasure inside. The Chinkan parchment. With this scroll, he can create a pocket dimension of his own. With his current star power, it should be about 4 times the size of a basketball court. The perfect place to plant the spirit tree. Up on the surface, Dark Dragon Dog has seen a spy pet in the air. Seeing this, Su remembers another treasure in the area, the undead demonic fruit. With this, any undead pet can gain immunity to fatal wounds 1 time. The perfect item for his little skeleton since all his stats are offensive. Deciding to find this fruit, Su follows after the spy pet. Over in the wooden forest death of the 7 peaches. Yes, ridiculous name, I know, it's just a thing. The Tang family is seen abusing and killing a pair of battle pet masters to steal a treasure they've found. After getting the treasure away from them, they're about to secure it when it disappears. Su has used capture to steal it. Karma's bad, ain't it? Seeing their stolen treasure being stolen in turn, the Tang family turn in the direction it went. Desperate to get it back, they send the 9th order shadow beast, Shura, forth. And in mere moments it gets demolished by Dragon Dog and Purgatory Dragon. What else is new? Deciding to use a different tactic, one of their masters, Feng Lao, uses spirit condensation to send a huge fist through the forest. Su has one more pet though. Well, he has a lot more technically, but you get the idea. Little Skeleton steps forward and slashes clean through the palm. This opens a path straight from the Tang family to Su, revealing his identity to them. They're enraged to see this is the same boy who went into the Dragon Tower before them. Shira's master sends forth 2 more of his pets. However, they're killed by a little skeleton in an instant as well. And so is the forest for that matter. Little Guy's attack took out every single tree in its path. Talk about overkill. Furious at their constant failure to hurt him, Feng Lao shoots swords made of his stellar power. These are rendered useless when Su pulls out the demonic suppressor punch. Feng Lao puts up a 9-layered shield to block, but even the first stance of Su's attack is enough to completely shatter such a defense. He uses another pet, Worm Dragon, to get Ruin away from the battle. With her gone, he activates his final trump card. Dementor, wait, we're in Harry Potter now. Quick Sue, use a Patronus. Oh wait, no, my bad. Dementor is a technique that turns the user's body into a spiritual being that can kill the person it touches. In this form, Feng Lao flies towards Su Ping. Unfortunately for him, Su Ping still has the spirit lamp. Whipping it out, he pumps his stellar energy into it and makes a barrier Feng can't cross. After defeating Feng, Su is faced with Tang Ruin herself. Riding atop her pet, the fallen Wing King, she's returned to the battlefield. After a short philosophical argument, the two prepare to cut each other down. When Little Skeleton prepares to attack though, she's shocked to find even her own pet frightened. Realizing that a fight might not be the best option, she tries to negotiate with Su. Wow, someone with actual brains, how about that? Su tells her she has to break her contract with her pet if she wants him to let her go. Walking towards him, Ryuan agrees to do this. However, once she's close, she tries to surprise attack him with two pets. I take it back, she's just as dumb as the rest. Little Skeleton instantly cuts down her pets, and Su decides to use his newest tool. He brings out the Chinkan parchment and throws Ruin into his personal pocket dimension. Once she's in there, Su tries to question her. After a lot of back and forth, he manages to get an important piece of info from her. The legendary battle pet master, Yuan Tianchen, is going to come for him. The noble families had an agreement to never clear the final floor of the Dragon Tower as it was for him alone. This was all part of a scheme for him to monopolize the secret realms. But now that Su has cleared it, it's only a matter of time till Yuan finds out and comes for him. Su is confident in his abilities, but he accepts that he's never really fought a truly powerful opponent without info on them before. Right now, his first priority is to expand his store and have his family move in, so they can't be used against him. Su returns to his pet store and finds his business thriving more than ever. At his current rate, he should be able to afford the pet store's upgrade within 10 days. In the meantime, he decides to secure the land needed to expand its area. For this, he logs into the Pioneer Network, a one-stop shop for all the needs of a pioneer. As long as you've got the money, they'll get what you need. Eesh, I feel like a telemarketer. Anyways, Su gets in touch with a support member and explains his need. Unfortunately, it seems the price of land has doubled due to the Elite Worldwide League starting soon. Su doesn't really have the funds to afford it if that's the case. Luckily, he remembers he still has the captured blood dragon and the capture ring. He asks the woman how much he can sell it for, and is happy to learn he'll be able to cover the cost of the land he needs after all. With that settled, he goes to begin his training for the day. After finding a training realm even harder than the dragon realm, he spends 1,000 energy points to enter it. This is the fallen demigod's realm, the perfect realm for him, since it has the item he needs to cultivate his Demon King body further. Once he does that, his defense will reach 9th order and he'll be much tougher. Inside, he receives a pop-up asking if he wishes to buy a God language translator. Confused but not wanting to be caught off guard, he buys it. There goes another 500 energy points. As he walks around the realm, Su comes across a naked demigod singing. Yeah, this isn't going to go well for him, is it? As soon as she sees him, she attacks with a wave of golden energy. To Su's surprise, this kills Purgatory Dragon in a single hit. While he revives him, Little Skeleton is left to defend his master. Su calls out to the woman to let him explain, but she says he doesn't need to. She already knows he came here from another world. I'm sorry, why the hell did you attack him then, you crazy woman? The woman reveals that she can tell he's a human just from how he looks. However, there's something in his aura that's strangely frightening, even to her. Deciding she's given him enough of an explanation, the woman tells Su to explain exactly what he's doing in the Midland of the Gods in 5 seconds, or she'll kill him. Confused, Su asks if this isn't the fallen demigod's realm. For some reason, that really pisses her off and she kills him. Short temper on that lady isn't there. Su decides to go for a random revival and try his luck elsewhere in this world. That doesn't go too well either. After spawning in a desert, he's attacked by a massive worm beast, essentially just an insect, except it's a 9th order beast. That's a divine realm for you, I guess. Even the bugs are super strong. Though Dragon Dog ends up being killed, Su manages to stun the creature with Little Skeleton's help. This is fully thanks to the demonic fruit, giving it immunity to the first fatal blow so it can stab the insect's eye. Su combines his demon suppressor punch with flames from Purgatory Dragon and kills the insect in a huge blast. The revived Dragon Dog comes up to Su with a crystal from the insect's corpse. This is a divine crystal. With its help, a pet can be transformed into a divine beast. This gives them access to skills several times stronger than their normal versions as well as boosted stats. Sue uses it on Dragon Dog and nothing happens. Just an extra section shows up in his status window. Scam. I call for compensation. Oh, never mind. He just needs a ton more divine crystals to level his divine status up. Time to kill more insects then. Right as he decides this, Sue hears a cry for help from nearby. Two gods are under attack by a horde of insects, swooping in on a purgatory dragon. Sue rescues the two gods and flies away from the area. While flying, the two discuss their situation with Sue. They were sent to exterminate the insects here. Unlike the rare pureblood gods in their kingdom, they're demigods, so they don't even have wings. This means the woman Sue met before must have been one of those pure gods. She had wings as well when she attacked him. Talk about some rotten luck. As they talk further, Sue learns of the existence of a legendary realm, where a year of training is a single day outside. The kingdom of the supreme god. To Sue's surprise, this is actually a training realm he's seen in the system before. As they're speaking, Purgatory Dragon is suddenly ripped to shreds by a sneak attack. The insects from before have chased after them. To make matters worse, they're led by a Centurion bug. Deciding to take the lead, Sue begins unleashing his power and steps forward. He'll face these bugs while the others escape. Alongside his three pets, he begins a fierce battle with the bugs, and he dies several times. Rough times. Luckily, he already got a ton of divine crystals, so it's not a total loss. With the last of his energy, Su Ping activates his final random revive. And of all places, he spawns in the bedroom of the god who first killed him. Forget rotten, this is some straight up cursed luck. After being spawned into the goddess's bedroom, Su is forced to think fast if he wants to keep his life. Before she can kill him once more, he tells her he knows the way to reach the kingdom of the supreme god. In exchange for this information, he tells the goddess he wants power. To fulfill this deal, she offers him a secret training manual that'll basically allow his learning speed to permanently increase. Goddess ain't nobody's fool either though. She places a lock on it that will only allow him to use the manual after traveling to the kingdom of the supreme god. Su decides to try tricking her and to some extent succeeds. He gets her to agree to let him draw a marking that will allow him to transport her with him. In reality though, he's trying to draw the master pet contract seal. Yet again though, goddess ain't nobody's fool. She allows him to draw it, and then reverses the seal so he'll become her pet. Not like that, get your minds out of the gutter. Luckily, the laws of gods and the system, they clash and stuff, so her plan doesn't really work. Her powers end up being suppressed, and she gets dropped to the ground, while Su Ping recovers without any trouble. He just goes with the flow and pretends this was his plan all along. Since the master pet contract can't work with the goddess, Su asks the system to give him something else instead. For this, he receives the staff contract, in exchange for the goddess working as an employee of his store and always striving to benefit from it. She will get various perks. One of these is 7 days travel to any realm. Though she's hesitant, the goddess can't deny the heavenly aura coming from the contract, nor the great benefit. Reluctantly, she signs the contract and becomes Su Ping's employee. Her name is Chio Anna. Back at his pet store after the whole incident in the demigod realm, Su Ping receives a video call from an unknown person. When he answers the call, the man on the other side starts listing everything there is to know about Su. His age, his name, his job, his store, his family, their jobs, their residence. The guy knows everything. Worst of all, much like Su suspected, he's in his family's house. Su's mother and sister are tied up and unconscious in a corner. As expected, this is the work of none other than Yuan Tianchen. Thinking fast, Su puts forth his demand. He will face Yuan Tianchen, but it must be at his store, at his location, and his mother and sister must be brought with him. Good thinking. Dude's invincible in the store and all that. Very smart. Later, several master rankers descend from the sky above outside Su Ping's pet store. These people are from each of the 4 great families, including the Tangs and Chens. Surprisingly, Dao Zun is among these people as well. One of the masters attempts to forcefully raise the shutters of Su's store. The lot of them are stunned when his full force is unable to even make it budge a little bit. Su steps up to the store entrance himself and tells them all to shut up. Dao Zun is shocked at who the young man is, since he had actually hoped to mentor him after the events of the Dragon Realm. Another of the masters uses spirit condensation to grab Su. He simply breaks the attack apart however and drops that guy. Before anyone else can make a move, Yuan himself appears. Along with him are Su's unconscious mother and sister. Instantly, he uses his own spirit condensation to grab them, bring them into his store, and bind the guards holding them all at once. Bro really isn't messing around today. As the animosity between both groups builds up, Yuan enters Su's store. The two stand face to face, just inches apart. Staring Sue in the eyes, Yuan asks how it's possible for two legendaries to be stood in this tiny room. I don't know man, on your feet I guess. Yuan tells Sue that he's willing to present an offer to him. If he submits like the four great families behind him, Yuan will not only spare Sue but even become his mentor. Sue doesn't really like the guy, though on account of, kidnapping his mom and sister. He rejects the offer without a second thought, and says some stuff that really pisses off the old-timer. After giving him one last chance, Yuan fires a massive energy sword at Sue, only for it to be cracked to pieces by a one-handed strike from Anna. All the masters are shocked by the level of power she just displayed. Anna herself, however, simply starts bickering with Su Ping. Enraged, Yuan yells out that he'll kill them, and he gets owned. Yeah, probably shouldn't be annoying a goddess. She hits him with an attack that blows him into the side of a building. Next thing you know, he's summoning his strongest beast, the Beast King of Shadows. After summoning it, he merges with the pet and declares that he'll crush Anna and Sue, only to get owned again. Yeah, literal goddess man, just stop. Anna crushes his weapon, destroys his beast, and burns away all his power. In his current state, it'll take about 3 to 5 years for him to regain his full strength. All this in just one movement. As the other masters watch on in horror, Su Ping turns to them and tells them to come at him. Later, Sue's sister wakes up at their home's dining table to find her mom asleep next to her and her brother on the other side of the table. Also, there's a bunch of weird old men in the corner. Wait, what? Flashback to a few hours ago. Su Ping had Anna use one of her abilities to create a sort of mind control on the master rankers. It's not really mind control though, as much as just shifting their loyalties. In their state of shock, she used the spell to write an absolute truth into their hearts. The Su family is sacred and undefeated. As such, they're now present to act as instructors for Sue's sister in a variety of 9th order fields from healing to combat. Dao Zun is the sole master ranker who was left out of this because, well, he's just cool, ain't he? Su Ping just asks him to give him some swordsmanship lessons and tells him he'll contact him in a few days' time. On top of everything else, the land needed to expand the pet store has finally been acquired. With the store being upgraded, he can now breed pets of 7th to 9th order. That means more profit than ever as well. Things are looking better than ever for the Su family. With all his plans finally being realized, Su Ping's store has been expanded to take up more than 3,000 square meters of space. Rather than a store, you could call it a whole company in itself now. Inside this area, he uses the system to assign 300 meters of this space as the new home for his family. Additionally, he can even use it to create furniture, utilities, and anything else needed for the place. Damn systems an architect's dream. After getting everything set up, he brings his mom and sister to the store the next morning. While they're shocked by how big the store has gotten, they're even more stunned by the extremely luxurious living area Sue has made for them. Also the super pretty girl who is in the store's lobby. When they ask him about her, Su Ping can only shudder at her being called nice. That woman killed him pretty painfully, you know. At his family's insistence, he has Anna join them for lunch. There, his mom instantly starts trying to set her up with Sue, but Anna makes it clear she's not interested in a relationship at the moment. Also, she's renamed herself Joanna for some reason. As they discuss the workload, for just her being pretty large with the store's expansion, Su Ping has an idea. The Tang family is under his thumb now, so he doesn't really have anything to fear. If he frees a certain someone from his pocket dimension, does he? And since he needs an extra employee, this might be a perfect opportunity. That's just wicked. Smart though. After releasing Ruin from the pocket dimension, Su Ping tells her he's not done making use of her just yet. Naturally, she tries to escape by jumping out the nearest window. Unnaturally, the window refuses to break since, it's Su Ping's domain. After giving her some dumplings to restore her strength, Su Ping has her sign the same employee contract that Anna did. With this, his store will be able to run more smoothly than ever. The next day, Ruin can be found at the storefront along with Anna, both of them in maid outfits. That can't be regulation, can it? Ruin tries to defy the contract, and also tries to escape through the front doors, and once again, she's forced back into the store because of Su Ping's control. While Anna gives her some pointers on the job she's now stuck with, Su heads outside. At his request, some people from Pioneer's website are here to shoot a promotional video for the store. After that, Sue's sister shows up and demands his help. 2 of the master rankers have been following her around everywhere, and it's messing with her school life. Yeah, I can see that. Sue tells her there's nothing to worry about. He's actually the one who assigned them, as her protection detail of sorts. While they discuss this, Ruin sees one of the men in question. Snake Heart, the third-ranked member of the Tang family. Instantly, she sees a way to escape. She's sure the Snake Heart is stronger than Su Ping. She contacts him and asks about escaping Su Ping's control. However, he just displays shock that she too has been captured by him. Wait, too. Turning to Su Ping with horror, Ruin simply sees a terrifyingly smug smile.